and welcome back to IQ D&D, the Ramshackle Adventures. I am James Webster, your cruel and vicious dungeon master. With me today are David Wilkinson.
Hello.
Craig Hallam. Sara-Jayne Slack.
Hi, folks.
And Hugo Jackson.
Hello.
We rejoin our heroes / anti-heroes / protagonists / these assholes as in a strange place because they are all recently asleep, having been victim to a sleep spell that rolled incredibly well and thus got everyone. So you should all be able to now see a new screen on Roll20.
Love it.
It's just the very simple dream time for you folks. So I'm going to roll a d4, and that will decide which of you we cut to first. That's a 3. So fun times, because this is the one where I have to do the most work. Great. Thanks, D4. We're going to cut to Wendy. Now, a fun fact about Wendy. Wendy is a Kalashtar, which is a race from the Eberron system, where it is human people who have kind of merged with spirits. In Wendy's case, this represents the fact that once upon a time, Wendy was a regular human little girl, but was stolen away from her childhood home by a figure that, for copyright reasons, we all just call the Wild Boy, a strange demi-god-like figure who has never aged and lives in a dreamlike place, other plane, with a collection of people that they have lured away from their uncaring parents. In this case, the thing is, the Wild Boy isn't the most conscientious of people. So when they are leading you away into this other realm, flying, using the stars to guide them, they kind of left Wendy behind, and Wendy got lost out in the multiverse and had to learn to fend for herself, and thus became a pirate, and thus Captain Wendy. Because of this, there have been ramifications for what kind of person, just metaphysically, that Wendy is. And there is an element of the spirit to their personhood, which means that, as a Kalashtar, Wendy doesn't dream. When Wendy sleeps, Wendy experiences memories attached to the spirit place that removed her from her original life. So Wendy dreams of the Wild Boy's actual life. So of a life that Wendy never got to live as well, which is an extra kick in the teeth.
I always wake up grumpy. Now I know why.
What a surprise.
So I think, as is most appropriate, we're going to, when Wendy kind of comes to in this not quite dream, you are on the deck of a pirate ship in a picturesque kind of lagoon, various wild forests around it, and on the deck of the ship, a group of ragamuffin children are fighting with a crew of pirates. And Wendy is going hook and cutlass to short sword with the Wild Boy, who is kind of just like posing on the deck, very impish, like wearing tights and a kind of a tunic made of leaves, posing like a fencer with his short sword, going, "You'll never win this time, Captain Wendy. We will repel you from the shores of our home." And Wendy, what I want you to do first of all is make a wisdom saving throw. You make these at advantage because you're a Kalashtar.
Okie dokie.
So roll 2 d20, add your wisdom saving throw modifier, and give me the highest result.
Okay, here we
Come
go.
on, you got this.
So Yeah, I'm not going to use that second one. So overall, that would be 20.
Very good. So you are immediately aware that you are dreaming,
Okay.
that you are asleep. This roll determines that you are in a waking, lucid kind of sleep state.
Cool.
And now roll me a perception check.
Okay. 12.
Okay, you don't notice anything. Your focus is solely on the wild boy in front of
You
you.
never notices anything.
And what? Paladins, man.
She's a very focused person, okay?
So what does Captain Wendy do with this horrid little boy on her ship?
Can I kick him into the water?
You can definitely try to do that. Roll me an athletics check. The wild boy will oppose with his acrobatics, which is quite high.
Okie dokie. So 19 plus 3.
Alas, he rolled a 15 plus 8, beating you by 1.
Wow.
Got it.
So it's a great kick. Yeah, you kind of plant him squarely in the chest, and he tumbles off over the railing of the ship, but kind of catches it with one hand, does a little handspring, kind of back on, and lands nimbly, balancing on the railing.
God, I hate this kid already.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of give him a look.
Yep. And the boy kind of like prances up and down the railing a little bit as the fight goes on. In the background behind you, pirates are being pushed around by various little flying children. Kind of pistols are going off, not really hitting. One of the cannons just gone overboard, and the boy says to you, "Oh, Wendy, why did you have to go and grow up? We could have had such fun, you and me."
Why did I have to? You left me.
Hey, it's not my fault you couldn't keep up. And the boy kind of jumps through the air, lunges at you. Hits. And I'm not going to ask you to keep track of the damage in the dream necessarily, but it definitely kind of scores a hit across your shoulder through your armor, and blood starts seeping out.
Can I ask which arm this is? Is this hook? And do I have a hook rather than a grappling hook?
Yeah, you have a regular pirate hook.
Okay, cool.
And it's your cutlass arm, because that's the one that would have been forward.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And the boy just laughs at this like it's all some game.
I'm quite shocked that he's actually drawn blood, because I think previously it would have been more kind of rough and tumble. No one's been murdered. You know, kicking them off the boat, threatening with the crocodiles, that sort of thing, rather than actually skewering each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of shocked me a little bit, I think.
Cool. And how does Wendy react in this to this shock?
So is he actually on the deck now rather than on the side?
Yeah, kind of leapt off the railing and is now on the deck facing you.
Okay, and he's got just a regular sword, and that's it?
Yeah, kind of like a short sword, kind of more like a long dagger, really.
Okay. Could I try to chop off the wrist that is holding the dagger? Since I know it's a dream anyway, I can be slightly petty and do unto others as they have done to me.
Yeah, absolutely, you can do this. And I'm going to say, because you know it's a dream and you have some kind of like control over this dreamscape, I'm going to say roll with advantage on this.
Okay, cool. Whew. Right, so that is a 12 and that is a 17.
Yeah, that will definitely hit. So I'm going to say, yeah. What happens here? Brilliant. So I think we see the cutlass going through the air, and we kind of cut away as it hits, and we kind of cut to the hand hitting the deck. And the wobbly kind of looks down and looks up at you, kind of shocked and wide-eyed, and then kind of lets this sink in and kind of smiles and does a little laugh again and goes, "Oh, this is a new twist to the game."
Yeah, you could say that. Is the sword close enough for me to kick the sword away?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's going over the side.
Brilliant. Because it's not how it should happen, really, though, is it? The Wild Boy says, like, ideally there should have been a crocodile.
Ideally.
You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe we can still make that happen. And the Wild Boy just kind of holds the arm that you've injured out over the side of the boat, and some blood drips into the water, and the water below starts to kind of bubble and roil.
What are you doing?
Well, I figure that if there is, I don't know, a crocodile around, it may just needs an invitation to the party.
Why do we want a crocodile at any sort of party?
Why wouldn't we? It makes things so much more interesting.
You would say that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Boys.
And that's a great line for us to cut away.
Oh no.
So who have we got next? No, that's it. Okay, so let's go to Farrier. What does Farrier dream of?
So I am walking with my dad through Shackle. It's a very bright, sunny, kind of hot day, almost kind of oppressively hot day. But I'm kind of younger than I am right now. I'm probably in my sort of early teens. And down the slope, the way the street slopes down, I see a pond at the end. It's one of my favorite ponds, and there's loads of ducks in there. I'm desperate to go and see the ducks.
Phenomenal. So you're walking hand in hand with your dad. Have you brought any like treats for the ducks? Have you got bread with you or something?
Whenever we go walking, I always have a bunch of seeds and rice and stuff like that for them stuffed into my pocket. Much to the ire of my dad, is like, we have, and you can't really be talked out of that stuff at this age. So I'm determined, and I kind of start trying to tear away from him a little bit and pointing at the ducks.
Absolutely. So yeah, you run ahead towards the pond, getting out the kind of little paper bag of seeds and crumbs you brought for the ducks that you kind of hid in a pocket, but so that your dad wouldn't take them away from you. As you get to the pond, again, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 4.
Ducks don't normally have teeth.
Yeah, you are deep in the dream in this with this sense of like childhood excitement and wonder that you're going to go feed the ducks. You're completely unaware that you're dreaming. So you get to the pond. The ducks kind of, by now the ducks have kind of learned that when this child appears, that means it's feeding time. So they all kind of crowd to the edge of the pond. Is there anyone else around? Is this like a busy spot in Shackle, or is this a kind of little out of the way place that is just for you?
It would normally be fairly busy. I'm not aware of anyone else being around. I'm just ducks, and somewhere in the back of my mind is my dad up the slope.
Great. So I think in this dream space there is like a little bustle of activity around the edges of the pond, but it's all kind of like blurred out, because that's the bits that the dream doesn't really have to fill in the blanks because you're not paying attention to it. So all these kind of blurry people with kind of blurred out faces. There's just a generic kind of sound of activity and sense of movement. And you get to the pond. The ducks, real happy to see you, kind of quack appreciatively.
I am elated at the sound of the ducks.
Amazing. So yeah, and you start to feed the ducks, and it's a real nice time. What would usually happen as the ducks are fed? How would this like just nice kind of idyllic day unfold?
Well, ideally for me, I would just spend all day just playing around there while my dad did whatever he needed to do. Sometimes I'm never sure where he's going. It's just Duck's Pond. There we go. But sometimes he would need to tear me away and take me to where we were actually supposed to be going, as opposed to down here.
Brilliant. So something weird happens as you're feeding the ducks. They're real hungry. They're kind of eating up the seeds, and they kind of start crowding around you. Maybe a little. At first, it's really exciting, and you're just happy with your duck friends. But then they're maybe getting a little too close, and there's this slight sense of claustrophobia in this stream. And as they're kind of snapping their bills to get the seeds, the snaps get a little more violent. And one of them kind of nips at the edges of your finger, and it goes, oh, that hurts. That's weird. Things don't usually hurt in this dream.
I don't like that.
Is this the start of Faria's anatodophobia?
I hope not.
But I'm not saying that I'm projecting my fear and hatred of ducks onto other people.
Oh
but
no.
Here we are. And as you look down them as well, these ducks are a little bigger than you remember.
And
How does Faria react to this?
kind of maybe wants to sort of empty out the bag and throw it away a little further away, try and distract them.
And as you do this, the ducks kind of fall on the bag, and they're kind of just tearing at it, just all tumbling over each other to get at it and fighting for these seeds. And you notice around you as well this kind of vague, blurry bustle of activity is also getting more panicked as more ducks are emerging from the pond. More ducks than this pond should be able to hold, and a kind of menacing this vague sense of people around the edge. And you look round to see that behind you a group of even larger ducks, and now some of them are weirdly scaly. They've got these bright kind of beady red eyes. One of them has fangs in its beak, and that doesn't make any sense. And they're kind of surrounding your father. That's amazing.
Okay.
And kind of almost like chivying him away from you. And often behind them, the kind of background of Shackle has kind of faded away, and it's almost this kind of embroiled battleground behind them. And you kind of look and see your father once was being menaced by these ducks. There's a pond full of now horrid creatures, kind of this kind of almost whirlpool of motion. And behind you, there is a safe path back towards your home in Shackle. That's just completely unperturbed by what's going on here. That's what would Faria do in this dream?
I want to go to my dad. I want to try and get him away. I want him to be safe. I want us both to leave, to go that way. I'm trying to like point up there, but I don't want to go without him.
Amazing. So as you get towards your dad, there's this kind of crowd of ducks blocking the way, and you're kind of trying to force your way past them, kind of shouldering them to one side. And as you're getting towards your dad, the scene's kind of changing, and the ducks are around you are less duck-like. They're more monstrous. Some of them as well aren't so much ducks or monsters. They see the feathers are kind of becoming shiny, like almost like armor, and there are all these kind of humanoid figures now as well that you're pushing through as the scene becomes less Shackle and more battleground. And you see in this battleground there are some of these duck-like monsters around these other human soldiers that your dad is still just stuck in the middle of. And then far in the distance as well, you see this a small kind of ragtag group of people that are kind of out bearing markings on their armor on this one kind of flag overhead, marking them as being from Ramshackle and part of like the loose city-state alliance there. And one of them looks very familiar. How long's it been since Faria has seen her mother?
Probably about 5-6 years, maybe.
Yeah, so she's much like you remember, but armored, and there are some extra scars. And this it's kind of like this dreamlike imagining of what Farah's mother might look like and what her life might be like as she's off fighting. And you're kind of barreling your way through this battleground because you're quite small. They're not really noticing you, and you're getting closer to your father, but you can see your mother off in the distance.
I wonder if I can call to her for help to come back.
Absolutely. I'm going to say, make me a spellcasting attack roll.
Okay. 22.
Amazing. So your voice kind of raises in volume far louder than it should be able to be, and just almost like a passage through the kind of mill of people opens up as you shout, opening up between you and your mother. And yeah, you could get. She starts moving towards you, and you could try and get to her if you wanted.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I'll go.
Cool. So you start running through this kind of like corridor in this maelstrom of battle. So they're still shouting in the clang of metal on metal around you. Still some nightmarish quacks here and there, and just much deeper, more feral sounding. And as much as you run, as much as your mother runs towards you, you can never quite seem to meet each other. It's that kind of dreamlike sense of distance where no matter how much you move, that it kind of expands so that you're never quite getting closer to each other. And we're going to jump back to someone else.
That was intense.
Craig, what does Alan dream of?
Alan tends to dream of failures that he's had previously. He's obsessed with the things that he missed and the things that he let get away. It's just part of his personality. So he does tend to dream about either adventures that he's had or scuffles that he's had in the past where people have got away or he's lost. The one he's having at the moment is about chasing a thief through a particularly moonlit kind of rooftop scape. And the thief has obviously got something that Alan is after, and he's really pissed off because he was there to steal it as well. And they got away with it. So he's trying to chase them down.
Right, amazing. So again, to start with, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, yeah. What is my thing? There we go. He is not a wise man. Oh, natural 20 plus 2, 22.
Dang. So yeah, as you are kind of leaping from rooftop to rooftop in this dark, shadowy cityscape, kind of clambering up railings, leaping across the space between streets, you become aware that you are dreaming. So again,
it's because you've not got a stitch, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you become aware of this as you're kind of making it.
What's going on? Oh, because it's not real. That's why.
Yeah. You come aware as you're like making a jump and realize, wait, this is a really long jump. And you just
doing the
kind of
Morpheus
sail across it. Yeah. Almost like flying across. And as you land, you realize, okay, I'm dreaming. And the thief in the distance is still running away from you. It's just has just made a similar leap and is kind of scaling a distant bell tower, I think, now to try and get some height on you. And what does Alan do?
He's locked in. Whether it's real or not, it makes absolutely no difference to him whatsoever. Ignoring the fact that he could be doing anything else, now he knows that it's a dream. Nope, he's locked in. So he's going to continue to chase.
Amazing. Make me an athletics check, and they will make an opposed one.
Thank you to D&D Beyond for rolling that natural 20 last time. And I hate you, D&D Beyond, because I've just rolled a 5, so that's a 10 total.
Amazing. So yeah, you are falling behind. You've made it to kind of the clock tower. You're starting to clamber up it, but this clock tower is now impossibly high, reaching up into the sky. The moon kind of full behind it, and it almost feels like it reaches right up to the moon. And you can actually kind of see this thief climbs up over the face of the clock, up onto the spire, and then leaps and has landed on the moon beyond you.
Oh, that's cheating.
And you're scrabbling up. You're doing your best, but you're not making up the distance. Make me a perception check.
Sure. Here we go. 23.
Amazing. You see, as you're looking up and you're trying to make out how this person made this jump onto the moon, you see
Perfectly reasonable.
another figure standing on the atop the kind of clock spire, standing on the edge of the spire, almost balanced on it pretty impossibly, really. And this figure is kind of humanoid, bluish green skin, this faint kind of bluish glow around them. They're a little intangible as well, almost slightly see-through. But this isn't someone you think you've ever met before, and it's weird that they're in the stream with you. And what does Alan do?
Is the blue-green character closer than the thief?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the moon is a long way away, isn't it? That was a pretty decent jump. So he will kind of take one last look at the thief and just be like, I'll get you next time, you shit. And then turn around to the other guy and say, walk around on rooftops much?
Yeah, and so you're still a distance away from this person, but distance is weird in dreams. And so despite the fact that you're kind of like still towards the base of this tower and they're right at the top, you can almost look them straight in the face somehow still. And your voice carries across to them. They say, not often, but it seems like you do.
Oh, it's a bit par for the course, believe it or not. So don't take this the wrong way, but you're a bit blue-green. You all right?
Is that not normal?
It is for some people.
But would you say it's average for where you're from?
No, not really. I mean, we have a lot of furry people. We have green people. But no, I don't think I've seen any kind of blue-greeny fellas like you.
Right, I've made an error then. And their skin kind of changes tone, and it becomes a kind of more human skin color. Still quite tanned, Mediterranean looking, so it still has that kind of like olivish tint.
Oh, that's better. You'll fit in much better like that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now, aren't you going to keep climbing because you're going to lose them?
Yeah, I've lost them already. Don't you normally dream about people you already know? I don't think we've met before.
Well, no, this is slightly awkward. I'd been hoping to kind of get a sense of you as a person, and don't get me wrong. This kind of whole rooftop chase thing was very illuminating. Very, very dogged, aren't you?
I like to see things through. Yeah.
Yeah. I get this sense of you as a person. You don't really let things go.
I mean, I can if I want.
Can you though? Let's
really.
Tell you what, let's just try this whole thing again. And the dream kind of like resets to almost like before even the dream started, the point where you saw this person steal whatever it was that you were stealing and is kind of making their break onto the rooftops. You're like, so, and this person is there with you and it's just saying, so you could just let them go if you want. You could just give this one up and stay here.
Well,
but they're getting away.
Exactly. I can do this again. See you in a bit, and I'm off.
And as you were kind of chasing across the rooftops, every time you kind of look around to get your bearings, you see this figure just kind of standing on another rooftop nearby. And we're gonna cut across finally to David. What does Jack dream of?
Back in the Guild of Order, so an orderly, and on one particular night, they've been detailed, a whole bunch of them, to go and guard the portal. And we're fascinated this evening because we're all looking into the portal. And there's a city like we've never seen before. It's covered in lights, but there are no flames anywhere. It's just lights, and there's noise, and so many lights, and there's lights in the sky passing over it. And we're just all amazed, and it's almost like we're eating popcorn and watching this show. And we don't know what's going on. We don't know why the portal's open for there. We don't know what's going on. We've just been told nobody comes out. Nobody comes out. And then it just whites out. There's total blank light. And as the light fades, the entire city is now burning.
Shit.
Dang. Great. So first of all, as you are kind of watching the city burning, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Right, D20.
Yep.
Do I get to add anything to it?
Let me just check your character sheet.
For anybody who's joining us, I'm the D&D novice, so I have to ask all these questions.
You add 1 to the result.
Right, 16 total.
Brilliant. So I think this kind of sequence plays out a couple of times. Every time it's more or less the same. The kind of wonder of seeing through the portal, then the portal whiting out and the city burning. Every time this happens, like, what does Jack do about the city burning? Is it a situation where they're kind of helpless and just watch, or can they try and intervene?
Our commanding officer, it's almost like they knew it was going to happen. And they remind, nobody comes out. Nobody comes out. Anybody running away from the burning city does not come out. And if they try to, you will kill them.
Oof. So, and I think this happens a couple of times. But the figure that comes running out towards you is actually kind of familiar. They're a figure with kind of bluish green skin that you saw recently you kind of remember in this kind of room in the tunnels of the sewers just before you fell asleep. That's weird. Why is it this person? This person's running towards you, and what do you do?
Up until now, things have been familiar, and this is new. I get a sense of newness, even though there's the familiarity of the figure. And I raise my bow and aim it straight at them. But I'm having trouble following orders, because I don't really like the idea of preventing people from running away from a burning city.
Amazing. And I think at this point as well, you kind of feel it's not like a physical glow, but it's like the feeling that of a glow without the visual aspect of it. So it's kind of almost like warmth and clarity, and there's other presence with you. For those watching, because Jack Polyakin is an Asimar, she has a kind of angelic divine spirit that sometimes visits her in her dreams. So this kind of feeling of a glow, this presence, feels familiar. And it's just this extra reminder that it doesn't really say anything, but you just have this knowledge in your head. This is a dream, but it doesn't mean that what you do now doesn't matter. And it just gives you that idea to consider of weigh your decision here carefully, because it has impact beyond this dream. And this figure's still running towards you out of the portal. And what does Jack do?
I shout a warning to stop, and I don't think it stops. And Grandly Austin is screaming at me to do as I am ordered
to take the
do.
shot.
And no, I just put just lower it, and I even step back from the portal.
Great, and this figure kind of runs out and stops in front of you. Kind of the urgency seems to fade off of them, and he just goes, so you're that kind of person. Not what I expected. And Grand Orderly Austin in the stream starts shouting at this person to identify itself, and that it's got under the envoy treaty of the city-state of Shackle, it has to stop and identify itself and display its diplomatic credentials. And it just raises a hand, and Ostley mutes. Sorry, Grand Orderly Austin mutes. It's still like kind of making the movements as if shouting, as if trying to get the guards to the other orderlies to arrest this person, but no sound. So I think it would be best if this conversation was just you and me and no distractions.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep working for Austin anyway, so we may as well. Can we go? Shall we?
Yeah, where do you want to go?
Just round this corner here. Just
great
into this alley.
Super. And you don't, without even walking there, suddenly you are around the corner in that alley. And I think unexpectedly, because you know this alley, you know that there isn't a nice kind of hole in the wall bar there, but there is.
Oh, marvelous.
And this and this person kind of just goes up to the bar, clicks his fingers, and a couple of drinks appear, and he hands one to you. Cheers, then.
Very good health.
Well,
I neck it, of course.
I can only hope so. You neck it, and it's immediately full again.
Excellent. I like you.
Well, Jack's never waking up. Well done.
So good. Well, that bodes well for our future interactions when you wake up. And we're gonna jump back to Captain Wendy. A little bit of progress has happened since we cut away, in that a huge crocodile has emerged out of the water. The boat is listing because the crocodile's crawled up onto the boat. The jaws are snapping, kind of like the sails and rigging is tangled up in its between its teeth.
I don't have any beef with the crocodile. Like,
yeah. And the wild boy is kind of like just up on the crocodile's snout, and it's trying to snap at him, but he just leads it on a merry dance to eat up more of your boat. And what is Wendy doing? Bear in mind, Wendy is kind of aware of what's happening, aware this isn't quite real.
Yeah. Can I mind link with the crocodile?
You absolutely can. This is yeah. Now, technically, this wouldn't work unless the crocodile was an intelligent creature who could speak at least one language. In this stream, it 100% works.
Brilliant.
And the crocodile, you get a kind of glimpse into its mind. It's going, gonna eat that goddamn kid. Gonna eat that goddamn kid. Yeah, with a steady beat to these thoughts, almost like a tick.
I like it. Okay, so
actually, for copyright reasons, actually, I'm going to say this is an alligator.
Excellent. So I am all for you eating this child.
Goddamn kid.
But can you please maybe not destroy my boat, if possible?
And you get those thoughts back of, but the boat's in the way of the kid, gonna eat the kid, gonna eat the kid. Maybe a persuasion check.
Okay. Maybe not 15 plus. What's my persuasion? +4 because yeah, I'm quite
Yeah,
charismatic.
you're pretty good at this.
I forgot.
Yeah, and this and again, there's not really any sense of the logical kind of sequence of events here. Like the crocodile would have had to kind of like back off, try and get the rigging in the sail and the mast out of its mouth. Instead, there's just like a jump cut to like an alternate shoot of this scene where the crocodile hasn't messed up your ship quite so much and is now instead kind of like almost like King Kong climbed up the mast to snap at the wild boy who's flying around its head, trying to lead it further up the mast. From the arm.
I would 100% watch this film. Just wanted to interject to say that.
Great. And the giant alligator still very, very much its mind's on one thing. It's gonna try and eat this kid. But you get the sense in the stream that this isn't quite gonna happen. The wild boy is one step ahead of it. And what do you do?
I'm just going to shout up to the wild boy. What am I going to shout? I'm going to shout, stop teasing the alligator.
Amazing. Make me another persuasion check, I guess. It could be an intimidation check to get the wild boy's attention.
I think persuasion's gonna work better.
Yeah, do it.
No, it's not. It's not quite a 1, but it was almost a 1.
Yeah, and the wild boy rolled a natural 20 on his insight check, which is bad. Like, the wild boy is not wise.
Could I distract him? Could I distract the wild boy as he's getting quite close to the alligator, so the alligator's got more of a chance to actually get the goddamn kid?
I think that's what that persuasion check would have allowed you to do,
right,
and it hasn't quite worked.
Okay.
But I think what happens now though is that you see a kind of humanoid figure just appear, kind of floating in the air, who just reaches out one greenish blue hand and shoves the wild boy into the alligator's mouth. Alligator's jaws snap shut, and this figure kind of floats, gently rotates in the air towards you and goes, now, this is an interesting one, because in a sense, this is really happening somewhere. Huh. I'm pretty sure that boy is going to get out, though, and regrow the arm and be fine. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you.
Am I quite shocked at this point because I know it's a dream?
Yes. This is this definitely feels like something from outside this world, this kind of dream world, intruding.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to sort of ready not necessarily a fighting stance, but if something happens, I'm ready for it stance. With, hook and sword kind of at the ready. But I'm... Oh, can I look around and see what's happening with the other boys and the crew members? Have they stopped fighting, or are they still going for it?
They're still kind of going at it, but now that the wild boy is out of the equation, the other children are kind of losing their urgency here. So they're more kind of slightly beating a retreat and trying to focus their attention more on the alligator and getting their leader out.
Sure. Can I just shout briefly to the other pirates to sort of back off and let them go, sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And your pirates grudgingly, those kids, those pesky kids. Set about kind of righting the ship again and getting things back in order.
Okay.
And the figure kind of just floats a bit closer and goes, yeah, this one was intense. Sounds like you've got some baggage.
Doesn't everyone?
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. And who are you?
Oh, sorry. Introductions. We can do this properly when you wake up as well. But my name is Anahis.
Anahist. Okay. My name's Captain Wendy, and this is my ship.
Oh, right. Well, pleasure to be aboard. Thank you for having me. What's the etiquette for this?
I'm not sure etiquette really applies in such a strange situation.
Oh, that is a relief, because normally I would like to have my research done a bit more thoroughly, to kind of just, what to do and what to say. But, strange situations needs must. So, really, I just wanted to get a sense of you as a person, and this has been informative.
Okay. I'm quite I'm still standing kind of on guard, and I'm curious, but I'm trying not to let my curiosity overtake my I have no idea what this person is doing-ness.
Yeah, I'm going to say, given that, roll insight for me to try and get a sense of what this person's about.
Oh, natural 20.
Oof. Yeah, and so you get a sense from this person that there's definitely, like, they are curious and inquisitive about you. They kind of, and they seem to have been taking everything that was happening in quite a lot of detail. Like, they wanted to see how you would react to a stressful situation and what decisions you would make.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I don't get the feeling that they're like aggressive or...
No. But you do get a sense that they feel in control, and that given the kind of slight interaction you had, there's something kind of alien about the way they're going about this.
Okay. So why are you here?
Oh, you mean here in your... Is it a dream? Not quite sure. Here while you're asleep, or here through the gate?
You were in the room. No, I wouldn't have known that. Sorry, that was meta. I would not have known that because I wasn't around the corner. So through the gate. So I would know you're in Shackle.
Yes, that's right. Newly arrived.
You were the one who came through the gate a few days ago.
Well, I kind of snuck... It wasn't just me.
Right.
I was really incidental, but we can talk about that more when you're up and about. I mean, more really, I just wanted to... Two things. First of all, I just really want to impart to you before you wake up that I don't mean you any harm, and I'd really appreciate it if you didn't try to kill me or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not even sure if it would work. I don't think it would, but it would definitely be an inconvenience. And yeah, and I'd rather not have to kill any of you, because that would be an inconvenience for you as well. It would probably take you a while to come back, and that's not great.
Generally. And what was number 2?
Number 2 is, seeing as we're here, like, is there anything in this kind of place that you want to change?
That I want to change?
Yeah.
Does that include people's personality?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so that boy that you just pushed into the alligator's mouth is absolutely going to find his way out, because that's what the little shocker always does. I would quite like this to humble him slightly and make him not quite as much of a douchebag.
I mean, that seems doable.
Brilliant. And
you feel the kind of place that you're in change. There's kind of like a blur as the scene transitions, and you're not on the ship anymore. You're on the bank of the lagoon, as I think a couple of mermaids are dragging the boy out of the onto a little beach.
Mm.
And the boy has somehow grown back the arm, the hand that you cut off.
Mm-hmm. Typical.
This boy always seems to return to the same state.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of crawling up onto the beach, and for the first time in your life, you hear the wild boy say, as he looks at the mermaids, "Thank you."
Good.
And there's something strange and uncanny about it, because this is very out of character.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting and unnerving, but in a good way, I guess.
If you say so, says Anahis.
Okay. So now what?
I mean, that's a good question. Is there anything else you want to do here?
I don't think so particularly.
Oh, well, then it's probably time for you to wake up. And we're going to cut away again, back to Farrier. So Farrier, you are running as fast as you can. Kind of the air's burning in your lungs as you're trying to cross this distance to get to your mother, and not quite getting there. And what does Farrier do here? Does Farrier keep trying, or does Farrier do something else?
I think I want to stop, and I want my staff. I want to try and save my father myself, because I can't get to her, and I don't know if she's coming to me or not, but I have to do something, so I want to do something.
Amazing. So yeah, you think about your staff, and it feels almost like someone hands it to you, but you're not paying attention to that right now.
Okay.
And your staff is in your hand, and suddenly you look around, and your father is, say, about 20 feet away from you, cowering from the various beasts and soldiers around him.
And I want to blow all these ducks away. All these ducks, these monsters, these everything. I want them all. Everything on this battlefield, I want to disappear except the people that I care about.
Fantastic. Roll me a spellcasting roll.
19.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. I think so. With a 19, certainly the beasts and soldiers around your father, almost dissolve as this wave of light and force comes out of your staff, and almost like they're sanded down and away and obliterated. And the space around your dad, almost the battle is wiped away, and it's almost like your dad is standing by that pond in Shackle again. Mm-hmm. So now there's this weird mishmash of things happening. Kind of one area of the dreams is the pond. Right next to it, on almost with a stark line separating it, there is kind of battlefields again. I think none of them are threatening you anymore. This is just kind of something that's happening separately and feeling distant. You've definitely created like almost a barrier between the danger here and yourself. And similarly, the path towards your mother stays open, and there's no one kind of getting in the way or even fighting to get back in. But she's still that distance away. Mm-hmm. But certainly the tumult of the battle seems to have, just blown away like sand.
Okay. I'm going to go to my father.
Yep. I think your father kind of just takes you into his arms, kind of lifts you up a little bit and hugs you tight. Goes, "Thank you. I was so scared. What? Yeah. Normally the ducks are so nice."
I know, right? That's I think maybe a few less seeds next time. They're obviously not agreeing with them.
Oh, you took the seeds again. I warned you about the seeds.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is what happens.
I just want to be nice to the ducks.
And I think a voice behind you at that point says, and that speaks quite well of you. You're quite sweet, aren't you?
I turn around.
And
His
yeah,
voice.
there's a bluish-green humanoid figure.
Hello.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. I felt now was the time.
That's okay, I think. Can I help you?
I'm hoping that you can, yes. What was your name?
My name's Faria. Faria Ferraco. And your name?
Very pleased to meet you, Faria Ferraco. Yeah. So I'm sorry about how some of this has turned out. I turned up the intensity a little bit, but I wasn't sure it would go quite that far. But you seem to handle yourself very well, so good. Well done.
It's what I would hope for. I don't feel like it's happened so far, but I'm glad it did now.
Absolutely. And this probably speaks well for you in the future. I feel there are great things ahead of you. I'm sorry about the kind of distance there with that woman. Is that your mother, I'm guessing?
I think so. She's not quite as I remember her, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, and this person kind of like crinkles their brow a little bit as they kind of focus for a second, like, no, I can't bring her any closer. That's a real ingrained sense of separation there. Gosh, now, well, you know what? This is the one where I really feel like I've been intruding, to be honest.
I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit, so you're all right.
That's really, really kind of you to say. And now I'm just going to say, you're going to wake up soon. This was a dream. Oh, gosh.
I kind of look at my staff and my dad and at the pond kind of eerily where the ducks are. I'm like, that's a relief, I think. But I think I've learned something about myself.
I'm glad. I definitely feel like I've learned something about you. So when you wake up, again, I'm just gonna say, please, if possible, don't attack me. Do you think you can do that?
If you're not a duck, then probably.
No, I don't think I'm a duck.
Okay. I'll check it out before I launch any attacks at you.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Now, yes, as I said, in a minute you're going to wake up. So for now, I just enjoy this hug.
I can do that.
Super. Yeah, and we're going to cut back to Alan briefly as well, just as you're sprinting across the rooftops again. And every time you look around, this figure is kind of there going, honestly, if I were you, I would try and learn how to give it a rest, because you're just going to wake up tired.
I always wake up tired. What are you on about? That's how you wake up, isn't it?
That explains a lot.
I was kind of like give like the shrug as I'm running.
And again,
like,
yeah, you kind of leap to another rooftop, look around a corner, the figure's there again. It's like, honestly, gotcha. I am tired just watching you.
Right, I have to exist like this. It's not easy, you know.
I can only imagine. Honestly, I do feel a kind of kinship there. I also feel like, someone who never quite stops moving. Although in my case, usually it's because there are people chasing me.
Oh no, I've done that as well. Actually, yeah, I prefer this way round where I'm doing the chasing.
I imagine that would be so. Yes. And so, like, I just really want to ask, like, why is it you feel that you just can't stop?
Well, it's practice, isn't it? Next time they pop up, I'll get them. There's always a next time.
Fascinating. Great. So, if you can, I really would recommend just having a little lie down, because as I said, you're going to wake up soon. And just maybe you can give yourself a break this once.
I mean, that's That's a good tip. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll catch him this time. Catch him, I'll take a rest.
You know, against my better judgment, I believe in you. And I'm just going to ask you
that's
one
one
thing.
of us.
I'm going to ask you one thing that I've asked your friends as well. Please, if possible, when you wake up, just let's have a chat first before anything else. Okay?
Yeah, all right.
Great. Enjoy. I really hope you catch them.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
And we fade out, and finally we go back to David, to Jack. You're having a drink in this little hole in the wall bar.
You have got off so much easier than the rest.
Just nice.
So, do you often kind of dream of distant apocalypses? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it kind of happened.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to say,
do you know what it was? I've never found out what it was. What was it?
I'm honestly probably not my world, and I've really got to hope it doesn't happen to mine as well.
Oh dear. Is this going to refill again?
If you want it to.
Yeah. Lovely. Yes. So, you're not from there. This nightmare that I just keep reliving, you're not here to tell me what it is or how it happened or anything else.
Alas, not. That might have to stay a mystery for a little bit longer.
Is that because you don't know, or because...
It's because I don't know. I mean, I could try and find out for you, but honestly, I'm a little busy right now.
Well, it lost me my job.
And I'm sorry for that, but honestly, I think it feels like you took a stand on principle, and I can respect that.
Great.
And I really hope that principle will carry through to when you wake up, and we can.
Why are you worried about that?
Well, obviously, people from where I'm from don't get out often. And when we do, often we find there's not a friendly reception waiting for us.
Well, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to be friendly, but I am here to arrest people, not kill them.
Definitely better than the alternative. Well,
yeah.
That depends.
I
suppose that depends on how good the prison is.
Well, I mean, maybe we will have a chat, and if you've not done the stuff that I'm after, then, you know, I'm not going to drag you in. We're not that kind of place.
Good to know. Well, I think maybe it is chat time. So,
however, you won't run off, will you?
I think that depends how the chat goes.
And I don't want to see a weapon in your hand either.
You will not, but I do have to tell you, nor would I need one.
Well, I think that is a bit of a threat, and you need to think about, because you are in contravention of the Guild of Order, Section 4, Paragraph 3, making a threat of metaphysical nature.
Oh, that's very helpful to know. Thank you. I'll avoid that in future. Honestly, it wasn't intended as a threat. I just wanted you to, you know, to know, just to have all cards on the table.
Just as long as we know, right? You stay away from me. And if I decide that I need to arrest you, you will comply. And then nobody gets hurt.
I suspect that will be part of the conversation we have shortly. Anyway, enjoy another couple of drinks. They're on me.
Well, cheers.
And you know.
Oh, it's cold now.
Honestly, I hope you wake up rested, but I doubt you will. And I think as we fade away from that scene, the kind of hole in the wall bar becomes the gate, that portal again, and once more you see a world burning in the distance.
Oh, great.
And it's at this point that you all wake up. And I think that's another great point for us to end an episode. So thank you everyone for watching. This has been the Dream Interlude of IQ D&D, the Ramshackle Adventures. Adventures Chronicles. It's one of the two. I remember things.
Can't
We've
you
been
remember it from 5 minutes ago?
yeah, we've been Inspired Quill. This has been D&D. Tune in next time. Please like, subscribe, and buy our books. Yeah.
We'll call that Quacks of the Titans.
Oh,
Or if we're going anime, a Quack on Titan.
Oh no!
oh yeah.
Hugo, how did you not get that one?
Damn.
Yeah. I will do what I always do when I get homework and wing it.
Love it, love it.
It's got me through school and 2 degrees and every day at work. So I will do the same thing. And actually, every time I DM. So.